And I think we are live indeed. Yes. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to one more Tuesday, one more the Diary of an MCT and MVP. And I'm happy that today we have a special guest star from the Nordic part, if I may say like that. And basically, our lady for tonight, our guest is basically Malin. Malin, welcome.
Thank you
And
very
thank
much.
you for joining this show. I heard a lot of nice words these two
Oh,
days when I basically published that. Hey, Malin, it's wonderful. Malin is this. I said, guys, how is possible that so far I didn't heard about that? But then I saw that you are more on the CRM side and the dynamic side and all that stuff. And I'm really, how to say, really happy to have you as a guest in this show.
thanks for
Welcome.
having me. It's not often you get both MCT and MVP combined, and I get to talk about
Yes.
all the things I love. So
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be here. Uh, Good fun.
Nice. I think the pleasure is mine, more or less. And in this new year, you're the first lady in the show. So
Oh,
that's really nice and
yeah.
perfect, if I may be honest with you.
Oh,
Uh, and I must ask you and you must answer honestly on this question. I was working 2.5 years with Microsoft Dynamics Finance and Operations.
mm-hmm.
And I saw you were working with Microsoft Dynamics CRM. What's the
Yes.
main difference? I'm really curious. This is for me. It's not for the viewers. It's not for nobody else. This is
Oh.
curiosity from my side.
So when I first started my MVP journey,
Yeah.
I actually stumbled in on HR.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm a bit aware about both sides,
Okay.
enough to know that the fun is on the CRM side.
Okay. So I missed the funny part. Okay.
Yes.
That's, I think, more than enough because I was
Yeah.
struggling. And after 2020, I must be honest, I was working 3 years in a row,
Yep.
migration from Dynamics, how it's called, this Microsoft Dynamics. And the version 2012 R3, R2, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So I was doing a lot of migrations for finance and operations also in the cloud. And after that, I said, no, this
No.
is not for me. This is not for me. Maybe this CRM, if it comes in the future, or something else, but not this. This is not for me.
Yeah.
I must be honest, because it has
No.
so many modules, so many relationships, and
It's
wow. I
it's
suppose in the CRM is the same.
it's not that bad.
Okay.
It's a lot less. It's just the database is a lot less, so it's a lot
Okay.
smaller. So you have Dataverse as our database, and that is where everything
Wow.
is. So
Well,
there you have the nicely structured everything,
okay.
and it's not the overflow and the insane abundance of tables. So you have it more structured, a lot simpler, no money. So we don't talk about VAT and we don't talk about all that stuff. I don't care. Yeah.
Wow.
So
It's impressive.
mhm, it's a lot funnier, and I mean it's when you look at the dynamics, the CRM side of
Yeah.
dynamics. So you have sales, customer service, field service, partially project
Marketing.
operation, and of course
Yeah.
customer insights, which is my main domain. So
Wow.
you
Wow.
have the
And
marketing
so
side.
now, if I understand you correctly, is they put the database the same like on Power Platform?
Mm, opposite.
Opposite.
So yes, so Dataverse which is in Power Platform,
Yeah.
it comes from CRM.
So it was initially in the CRM because
Yep.
in 2019, I think officially the CRM, or maybe earlier, I'm just thinking loud with you because that is when I catch, and they
Yep.
required licenses or additional license for the CRM.
Yes.
But I never get into that, to be honest, with
No.
you completely. I
Yep.
didn't know that the Dataverse was coming from the CRM, and they just basically,
Yeah.
wow. So it's already
So
checked product, the Dataverse, that's everything, it's working. because
Yes.
on Dynamics, either it's working, either it's not working. That's
Yes.
my personal
Yes,
experience.
that is correct. And you can mess it completely up, or you can do it correctly and have it working nicely. So it's you have those two sides of it all. But it's
Wow.
so Dataverse is, even though as a name it is new,
Okay.
well, a couple of names ago it was also not new, but when it first came in 2018 with the Power Platform, and it
Okay.
was common data service at that time. It was still, it originates from, what is it, 2001 or whatever it was, CRM version 1 came. So everyone who's working with CRM on the
Okay.
dynamic side, we know Dataverse. That's our bread and butter. That's what we do. That's our database.
So that's how they easily, these functional consultants, I think the role it is itself, they
Yep.
easily switch to the Power Platform and explaining the Dataverse and
Yes.
faster learning, if I may say, fast learn,
Oh,
if I
yeah.
may say like that, fast track
Yeah.
for them. Wow.
Absolutely. And of course, when you have go to the Power App side and you have the model driven apps, that is CRM.
For you, basically, Power Platform is easy peasy. Is that
Yes.
correct? Because you
Well,
started on the hard way,
yes.
and
So
then now this is easy.
now
Oh,
we just have the fun left and things that work, and yeah, we've done this for years, so it's all good fun.
nice, nice. Before I jump to questioning you, I must share only this one, and now it comes to my mind. I finished with this finance and operation in 2020 in the one Switzerland company. They have a product in the finance and operations. It was a big struggle with all these on-prem versions, R2, R3.
Mhm.
Then you need to have really the ID of the how it's called, KB, I think the number or the update for the dynamics, whatever they are. And 2022, I was working 1 year as a Power Platform developer. And for me, it was completely, hey, this is East, this is West. They said it. But now I get what was the gap. For me, it was the gap, the CRM, because I never experienced the CRM. I have seen, I mean, the view, click,
Yep.
click, and that was it. This
Mhm.
is works for me. I
Easy.
will not use this. So this was the gap. And that's why basically, wow, it's
Yeah.
really, it sounds really nice. I needed to continue the CRM. Okay, now
Yeah.
I see my
Yes.
mistake in my life.
That's where all the fun. That's where all the fun is. That's that's where the good customers are and the fun customers. And yeah, I'm not saying ERP is there's a lot of fun people in ERP as well, but for me, my brain works with CRM. That's where my fun is.
Nice. You have, I suppose, in the CRM there is also modules, and I suppose this HR and the customer and all that stuff. It's a module, separate module in the
Yes.
CRM that you
Well,
need to
so
enable and all
yeah.
that stuff.
So on the licenses, and they're different, but all of them are just model driven apps built on top of Dataverse. So
Wow.
it's all model driven apps. It's just the functionality that Microsoft put in it on how it works. That is the difference.
You want to say to me that you have also the flows in the Dataverse like it have in the Power Platform?
Well, we have the
Or no?
old school stuff. So we
Okay.
we have workflows,
Okay.
which is like
Okay.
the grandfather of Power Automate, you might
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. True. True.
So we have the old school, but that works on Dataverse data, so that is still there,
Yeah.
asynchronous and synchronous. So we have both worlds, but again, just for the Dataverse data. S- But for us, it's there. It still works. It doesn't stop working. I so yeah, it's
I'm just
we have,
relating now and making plans for this year because my main goal for this year, to be completely honest, I think on the previous episodes I was mentioning, I want to challenge myself for Fabric. So
mm,
is it useful to go with CRM first and then to go to Fabric, or it will be okay if I go to Fabric directly? Just checking, if I may say like that, with
yeah,
you.
I think it doesn't hurt to go Fabric, because Fabric is just going everywhere and into everything. So
Yeah.
one of the products I work a lot with is customer insights data,
Okay.
and
Nice.
integrations into customer insights data. is, well, fabric is taking over the world. So
That's
so
true.
that is definitely, and I don't know if what's easiest, because fabric is one tangible thing that you
Product.
need to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
CRM is a lot.
Whole ERP system, basically.
Yeah, just
True. Okay.
without the money part.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, we're not talking about money. This is
No.
not finance show. This is about technical and this and that. When it
Yeah.
comes to the money, that's a different story with dynamics. Indeed, I mean, I didn't know. You learn day by day. So in 2017, when I jumped in this, it was a big challenge. And from guy that is working Windows servers, Azure cloud, but we are talking virtual machines, application service. No, no, guy, come here. We are planning to go to Azure, but
Yep.
first we need to fix the local stuff, which is Microsoft Dynamics 2012, Microsoft Dynamics 2009. I experienced, and that's the worst thing in my life, that I need to submit the timesheet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Then you need to restart the service. Then it's not working. Then you need to restart the VM. I said, what is this? And we are saying, I started cloud 2015, 14, and then you see click, 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 and then you have a machine that it's really that Dynamics is not working. Then you need this and that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a whole world, and a lot of the times I see, because I was in HR because
Okay.
HR back when was it, 2019, it
Okay.
was divided in 1819, it was divided, so parts of it was in Dataverse and parts of it was in finance operations, so ERP.
Right. Yeah.
So I could kind of, I had to learn some ERP,
Things.
some
Yeah.
finance
Yeah.
operation, but then the rest was in Dataverse, and that I know. But then when they moved put it fully back into ERP, I was like, I'm done. I'm backing out of this. This is not where I want to go. It's not what I want to do. So I'm going back to my CRM, and that's
To
that's the
enjoy,
fun.
basically, you have everything in one place, and basically, indeed.
Yes.
Wow, that's nice. Yeah, completely opposite from mine, if I may say like that. Yeah, I stuck in the finance operations and all that stuff, but you in the CRM, which
Yeah.
is nice. To be honest, it's a complex, and what is my conclusion at the end? Yeah, the company need to have really good amount of money prepared for the licenses and all that stuff. And usually, it will work, everything will work. It's really perfect system, ERP system for one big company, maybe medium big, if I
Mm.
may, not small, too small, maybe it's too
Yeah.
complex, the system itself. But
Yeah.
for medium or big company, it's really
Yeah.
perfect.
Yep.
Nice. That's nice. Now I will put you back in the time. And
Yeah.
now, before the CRM, how you were working? You have a lot of notes around you, and then you fill the fields and all that stuff. And there was
Yeah.
no dataverse in the past when you were starting,
No,
correct?
I don't have a technical background or code background at all.
Okay.
I did my degree in marketing.
Okay. That's
So
perfect.
yes.
SEO,
So
search engine optimization,
oh,
keywords, 200 paragraph words, a blog post. That's
well,
perfect.
it's I'm old. So so my degree, I think I was probably one of the last years to finish my degree,
Okay.
right before social media became a thing. So
Okay.
I actually didn't have anything on any web marketing or anything at all. So I was done, well, 2007. My degree
Okay.
was finished, and
And
well, I think
there
that's
was, I
not
think,
too long ago.
MySpace. There was,
Yeah,
I think, social network for.
yeah,
And I know I was listening a lot of DJs music because there was a players.
yeah.
And what was the other
But
one? Is
uh,
there
but
one?
it was
No.
companies wasn't really doing much online, because this was this
True.
strange online thing, and what do you do? And it wasn't, you had websites and you could create those, but it was like, well, the internet is can
New
we earn
thing.
money from that? Like, yeah.
True.
So and then what do you do? Well, I moved to Oslo and I got a job in customer service, and I've had a job in sales, and I had a job as a membership consultant and an event coordinator. So I've done proper work before I became a
Okay.
consultant. So I have a good background. I know I've worked in the system. So I've
Okay.
had systems and I've used systems as a user. So I have that with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is a big benefit for me, because
Okay.
I know how bad it can go when you get horrible
True.
systems. Yeah.
True.
I have consolidated people who were crying in their offices because their entire world was so bad and they couldn't do their job and everything was just horrible. So I know how bad it can be and how much worse it can make your job. So
Wow.
I bring that with me to all my meetings and in all my projects and everything that I do. I know it hurts when it goes bad. So I'm
Wow.
yeah. So that's my start, and then we changed our system over to Dynamics, uh,
Okay.
and the consultant at the time, he came up to me and was like, have you ever considered becoming a consultant? This was like way into the project, so we knew each other very well. Have you considered? I'm like, no, I haven't. To be honest, I've gone through my life, like I knew I wanted to do marketing,
Yeah.
and it stopped there. And it was kind of
Mhm.
like, I just want to do what's fun now. Like wherever the job takes me, whatever I do, if it seems fun, I'm on board. And so when he said, "Have you considered?" I'm like, "No, not really. Maybe you should consider." And I actually went and had an interview there, but it didn't work out, and they were later bought by someone else. But I think a couple of months later, two companies recruiters called me the same week with like a
Okay.
day in between them, saying, "Hey, have you considered becoming a consultant?" Like, no, but the universe is trying to tell me something, so I I might have to strongly consider that now. And I went to interview for both places, and one was a Norwegian system
Yeah.
company,
Okay.
which was the system we had used at my work, and the
Okay.
other was Dynamics. So
Oh.
I went, like, I came all the way and I got an offer from both places, and I was like, okay, so what do I do? Where do I go with a Norwegian partner that I know? I know the system,
Yeah.
but again, that's a Norwegian smaller partner, or do I go with, you know, the Microsoft partner, which it's Microsoft, it's a bit bigger.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever lose my job or not have a job within the company.
Safety, comfort zone.
Yes. So I ended up in the Microsoft world, and that was 2014.
Wow.
Yeah.
2014. 10.
Yes.
Oh, 11 years ago.
I know, it's crazy. And I continue to say, "Oh, I've been a consultant for almost 10 years." And now I'm like, "Wait. That was a year ago." So,
Indeed.
yeah.
Indeed. Time flies. Time flies.
Time
Indeed.
flies indeed. Yeah, it's crazy. So that was how I kind of fell into the world of consultancy, which is yeah. So
Nice. But you immediately started with consultancy about how to say about dynamic CRM, basically.
yes, yes. So that was going into projects. I think I was was a consultant for a month, and then I did my first certification.
Wow.
Yeah.
Immediately?
Yeah.
Wow, Malin, that's too fast.
Yeah, it was it was interesting, and back in the day the the certifications were different.
Agree.
Yeah.
Complete.
Yeah, like I still remember getting a question on, and again, this is on the database, so this is what's now Dataverse.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how many characters can you have in a field type of this type? And I was like,
Okay.
why on earth would anyone
Somebody.
need to know that from the top of their head for a certification? Yeah. So it's I remember. So that was my first certification. It was customization and configuration, I think in CRM 2011 or something like that. So
2011. Wow.
yeah. So
It was tough.
mm-hmm, it was.
But that's why we read now below the Malin name. Basically, we read MVP, MCT, Community Lead. I think the
Yeah.
journey was really nice. Yeah, it's always tough when you start and all that stuff. I agree completely. For some things, been there, done that, if I may call it like that.
Mm,
But I
yeah.
to tell you basically what you're saying now for the character. For
Mm,
example, when I decided a couple of years ago to take officially Azure certificate, Azure Admin,
mm,
2017-18,
mm.
Microsoft decided the same year to implement technical labs in the exam. So
Oh.
I think I was the only one in that year, because after that, yeah, Microsoft, please don't kick me out from that. I know it's NDA. I said, guys, it's tough. You have 5 labs. Basically, you need to do a peering within virtual. Basically, you need to create 2 virtual networks under 2 different regions. You need to know which regions can be paired, by the way.
Mm.
Then it was create virtual machines with encryption enabled. And there was 3 other. And I was the lucky one, and I don't shame to say 701. That was the result at the end. 701 was the
Wow.
number. And I said,
Yeah.
yes, that's
Yeah.
me. Lucky me.
Mhm. Yep. I always tell all my students that the best score you can get on an exam, the one you feel the best for, is when you get 700
True.
blank.
Done.
Oh, that feeling, that is just, yes,
I won.
700.
I won. Done.
Yes, I passed. I don't care what anyone says, because it's pass or not pass. I don't care about the score, but 700 blank, it's such a good feeling. It's just,
Indeed.
oh, and it's so
Thank
funny because I've done training, and then afterwards I've had students. I had student one, he came back after a year or so. I met them at an event, and they're like, I did the 700 thing. It's just as amazing as you said.
He will never forget the exam. That's the fun.
Yep.
He will never forget. Like me, I'm
Yep.
saying, yeah, I took all the Azure certificates starting from A104 till 800. I passed all developer, DevOps, security, Lala, Arc, even, and all
Yep.
that stuff. But this one, I will never forget. And whoever asked me, Azure Admin is the most tough one, but it's really how to say, it's really nice to have it, because you will explore the whole different world, technical, theoretical, and all that stuff. And yeah, I know, for example, Azure DevOps was
Yep.
750 when I
Yep.
passed
Mm.
750. But again, I know it was tough because it was repositories, pipelines,
Mm.
deployments, a DevOps way of working with epics, boards, user stories. It
Yeah.
was really tough on theory, but also on technical. But it's still here, 701.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mhm.
Everything else is really just
Yeah.
cross by, if I may call it like that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's those are the ones you remember as well. Like, you don't remember if you got like 800 or 795, and like, I don't remember any other numbers. I do remember when I did pass, because I do not code. I
Yeah.
have never coded. I have taken a strategic choice to
Okay.
not learn code. So that is just, that is at the start of my career, I was like, oh, if I'm going to be a consultant, I need to code. I have to be able to code. I need to learn all this. And then as I matured into the role, I was like, I don't have to code. Why on earth would I want to code if I've done my job for 10 years now, 11 years almost. I've done my
Okay.
job well. I've not written a single line of code.
Is there a specific reason? I must ask this.
Uh,
Or is just a decision for yourself, because
it's
sometimes
just
it's
a
really
decision for myself, and I don't like it, and I want to let the people who actually like it do it, because
that's true.
there's absolutely no reason for me to half-ass it when I can give it to someone else who is superb at it. Everyone wins at that, and everyone is more happy. So I'm perfectly aware of where my limits are,
Yeah.
but I have passed the Power Platform Developer certification.
Oh,
So I've passed
okay.
that. So I can
Okay.
apparently I can read and I can understand code. I don't code, I can understand it. But I have to say, after I passed that, I did probably laugh in my office for about half an hour because I passed. So
And you don't know how to code. You don't even how to open the tool, for example. I'm just saying.
no.
So
So
indeed,
I don't even have I might get kicked off from all the Microsoft programs for this, but
yeah.
I don't even have a GitHub account.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't have a lot of code there, but it's a fair point. I
Yep.
agree, and I
So
can
it's
relate myself. To be
yep.
completely honest with you, in 2012-13, usually I started. Yeah, my first job experience was to Windows Server 2003, Exchange Server, this and that, and usually the problem was some of the things you cannot do just with click, click, click. You need to
Yep.
go and open PowerShell and this and that. 2012-13, I was learning all that stuff. I have the same point like you. Even sometimes I was calling myself, yeah, I'm not Azure admin, I'm Azure ClickOps. I was calling
Yep.
myself because click,
Yep.
click, click all the time. But you know how the time and the work, basically you get stuck in this development, infra as a code. It depends also. And that's why I fully understand you. I fully agree with you. If you decide to go in that direction, like infra as a code, this, fair point.
Yep.
If you're more guy that wants to be consultant, check the things where it is the fields, this and that. Basically, later on, I think there is a lot of additional tools. Even we have now developer tool in the browser. So,
Yep.
for example, if Malin need to check, is the code like that? Just from curiosity, she can
Yep.
go right click, developer code tools, and she will see what's the code and what is happening there.
Yep. Yep. So, and it's on the CRM side of things, you don't have to code.
Code, indeed.
It's and I mean and if I'm in a project, that I always make sure that I have good developers with me. No problem.
Problem.
I can take the system further because I don't code, because I don't give up and turn to code as my first option.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it
So,
out from the what I see here at this moment and all the
yep.
stuff.
So
Agree.
how can I get more out of the system by using the out of the box functionalities and not coding everything? Which,
Indeed.
yep. So for
Depends
me,
on the role for some,
yes,
and but again, I agree fully on your side, because there is a things now with the cloud. Sometimes you don't need to know how
no,
to
no.
code and all that stuff.
And I'm fully aware that if you're on the Azure side, there's a lot more need for code and
Indeed.
everything, which is why I'm staying away from that side.
Okay.
So
But I think the leverage here is for you, because you have also a copilot,
yeah,
so you can ask copilot even if it's needed.
yeah,
I think copilot for Power Platform was the first official one that was really working and doing the stuff around, if I may say like
yeah,
that.
and they even Customer Insight Journeys, which is marketing tool, that even had a copilot before copilot became a thing. So before it had a name, it was there. Or it was one of the absolutely first ones that they kind of sneaky put in there and didn't really name it at all, and it didn't have the Copilot icon because Copilot wasn't a thing, but it was using the technology of it all. So and it's
Nice.
everywhere. Yes. So
I agree now fully with you why you don't want to learn the code. Yeah, sometimes, a lot of people, yeah, but you will need that, for this, for that. But now with the Copilot that is there, and I mean, I'm aware what type of system is CRM and all the stuff, the dynamics itself. So
yep,
I can
yep.
say to you, yeah, basically the role that you can work, and I think it's more beneficial in my view. I think the specific role for you, it's more like a functional, basically consultant, or I'm wrong?
Well, I'm I'm lead architect on a lot of projects as well. So I'm
Wow.
yeah. Uh,
Wow.
so I'm kind of more on the business side of
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
which a lot of companies and a lot of my customers seem to prefer, because I can talk to people. I can explain things to them a normal way, so to speak. I don't I know the terminology. I could
Yeah.
go to the terminology so I can talk to IT and I can make them happy as well. But for the users who are going to use the system, which
They got
is
this.
which is the biggest thing in Dynamics, it's the users. You have your salesperson. How on earth are you going to try and get the salesperson to use the system?
True.
They don't want to at all.
I
Salespeople do
completely
not.
now understand.
Yes, they do not want to use any system at all. They want to sell. End of story. So if you
That's it.
then come and explain something super technical, and it could be super
There is a
cool.
connections with the field ID
Yeah,
235, and it's called about the
yeah,
users and this. Then what
yeah,
is field
yeah.
and
Do
where is
this,
that
and
field ID?
yeah, and that triggers an API that goes out and
Yeah.
gets that, and that uses Postman, and I mean, they're like, I don't care. Which
True.
button do I need to click?
True.
Yeah.
That's true. Completely
Yes.
true. And
So
now I fully understand
yeah.
the role. But you
Yes.
as an architect need to draw a lot. Malin, come on, you're not now without code and that. So, but you need to draw, I suppose, a lot.
The Visual Studio and getting the architect things up and running, and yeah, so it's I try to avoid like whiteboards because
Yeah.
my handwriting is horrible. There's a reason why I work in tech.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so I
Okay.
didn't have to write. So I try to do everything on the system, doing the drawing and everything. But I'm also so now I've just started now a huge system or project in Norway,
Yeah.
where we're gonna it's kind of a like a the first vision of the system is a 4-year project where
Okay.
we're going in with pretty much everything on the CRM side. Basically, it's a big project, and we're gonna start with the processes, which is
Okay.
kind of foundation of everything. So, how
True.
do you work with your customers? How does it look? And to be
Okay.
able to explain that to users who they're now on an on-prem system, and they all
Whoa.
hate it, and it's coded to death. Like there's just, as someone once said, it's like it's spaghetti where it should be lasagna.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's messy and it's horrible, and people don't really like it, which I completely understand because it's old. So, but to be able to then explain to people, so this is the process we're going to go through for
Okay.
them to
Yeah.
be able to understand it and then look away from the old on-prem system. So we're going to draw it and print it out on paper and just
The
plaster it
whole
all over the
solution.
wall. Yes. And then just getting the foundation, just getting the core elements of Dataverse correct and
Okay.
linked correctly for us to then be able to just put that on the wall and have people come, okay, now we have half an hour, come talk to us about the process. And then for everyone, and I mean, it could be one person, it could be 500 people who stop by, anywhere in between. But that way we can show them what we've been thinking and see, okay, so for us, this doesn't work because we do this way. Okay, now we need to go back to the drawing board and we need to print out another one.
Good.
So just designing all of that, I love it, and making it work for customers. But also the most hardest thing in CRM is keeping it simple.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. It's so easy making over complex solutions for everything, and just keeping it simple is a challenge.
It's quite challenging, but I think sometimes also now thinking from technical but also consultant side, if I may say like that, it's quite how to say, as you said, challenging, but it's really tough because it's a how to explain, like in the phone, to explain how it's connected all the chips on the simplest way. It's
Yep.
impossible because it's a 1 million chips or microchips, something that it translates doing this camera, Wi-Fi, sound, this
Yep.
and that.
Yep.
So, but
Yep.
you know,
And
when you
then
explain good the process, I think also for the developer it's easier to understand how the logic should go, what should be connected where should it go, and so on and so on.
Yep. And what can you remove? Because if you have,
Okay.
yeah, so if
Yeah.
you have a phone and you have too many bits in it, it's gonna be a brick of a phone, like you're back to the
Yeah.
Nokia phones.
Yeah.
It's gonna be huge. So
Which
how can we make it as simple as possible
possible.
and still work for everyone, and not overcomplicate it and do all the small bits for everyone, but then look at the processes of how can we change the way people work to make small adjustments to the system and then having it work for everyone. So it's I love that process, and
And it
yeah.
triggers me one more question now, thinking Cloud in the same moment when you were talking. Basically, do you think that this, because in the Azure you're aware that there is a responsibilities like role, airbag, and all the stuff.
Yep.
So I think in the Power Platform is the same. The airbag where you assign admin, this, that, and all that stuff,
Yes.
who is responsible for what. But
Yep.
now it triggers me another. I think the idea for airbag and specifically this responsibility maybe in the past is coming from Dynamics, because in Dynamics in the CRM it was always, if Malin is working sales, she need to know this piece of the CRM. If Martin works HR, he knows this piece. He don't know anything in the background. He don't know finance, this and that. He knows sales.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yes.
And I think airbags now, it triggers me. I think maybe even airbag, the idea about role-based access control in Azure, Power Platform, and all the other, basically with these roles within the Microsoft Cloud ecosystem, if I may call it like that, it comes from the CRM, in my view now, listening to you and your experience working specifically on this, on that. And at the end, you don't need to know everything about the CRM because you're specialized for sales, marketing, HR, or any other within the CRM.
Yep.
Which is quite good to know.
Yep. It is, and but once you, so I traditional, most CRM consultants know and work a lot with sales and customer service. So those are the two original CRM apps, you might say. They've been there from the start. So what a lot of people do is they will have sales and customer service, and it doesn't matter because Dataverse is the foundation of everything. So they're just views on the data in Dataverse. So you're working with the same data. And to then have the salespeople put in their information, which then customer service can use and look at straight away.
True.
So those are the two like original apps, you might
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Field service is most connected to customer service. So those are the people who go out in the field and maybe work with lighting and
Yeah.
fire
Yeah. Yeah.
and fabrics and machines and stuff like that. And then you have kind of the new kid on the block, you might say, which is the customer insight parts, which is marketing, which
Oh.
not that many people work with,
Okay.
because there is not so much configuration on it. That
Okay.
is, yeah, that is more how do you use the system. So
Okay.
that gives me a big benefit because I love marketing. That is what I wanted to do. So for
True.
me to come in and show the users, so this is how you actually use the system from a marketing perspective.
You
That
now connect the dots basically in your
yes,
head, if I may say, and then basically just translate that to the broader
yes,
audience and all that
yes,
stuff. Really
exactly.
nice.
So that's what I'm doing most of the past couple of years, at least 3
Yeah.
years at least. It's most customer insight, and I also wrote a book on it back when it was called marketing. So
Okay.
that's the only book written on dynamics marketing because it's now changed name. So
Yeah.
I'm the only author on it.
First and the only. That's
Yes,
very important.
yes, first and only. So that's good, but it's the journey and the data side of it all. So not a lot of consultants work there. So I'm a lot of customers come to me just for help because, well, we have this CRM partner, but they're a traditional CRM partner. They don't understand marketing. So now we've gotten to the point where we have to Google stuff or we ask them a question and they have no idea, and they have to go back and Google and try and find out, and then they come back to us.
Backclass.
So can you please come help us instead? Which is
Yeah.
why I have a lot of customers. So I'm at a lot of customers, but I'm the less my customers need me, the more happy I am
Yeah.
because the most self-sufficient they are. Like
True.
if they can run the marketing, if they're happy with that, that means I've done a good job. That means I've taught them things. And then
True.
luckily I don't get out of I don't lose jobs either because Microsoft keeps pushing new stuff.
True. That's true. And
Yes.
one quick question from my side: the dynamics marketing part is something, if I may say, similar, like these bigger tools. I don't know, HubSpot. I have heard like they are
Yes.
making emails, leads, who
Yes.
clicked where, what exactly in details. Basically, even one newsletter when it's sent, you get really a broader overview about from 0 till 100, for example, everything about Martin as a he clicked on the newsletter that we sent to him, and he went really in details, reading through minutes, this, that, and he's potentially maybe a customer and all that stuff.
Yes. Yes. So all of that is on the journey side, which is what formerly known as dynamics marketing.
Yeah,
Uh, names and Microsoft, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then on the other side, you have customer insights data, which
Okay,
is what they call the CDP, so a customer data platform,
okay,
which is where you have kind of a layer on top of everything you have, and you just integrate. So if you have fabric
yeah,
is yeah, or an Azure data lake, or you of course connect to Dataverse. You can
yeah.
have your ERP data, you can have your website data, you can have any type of data from any system. It doesn't have to be Microsoft. You can
Okay.
put your Salesforce data and everything into it, and then you make this
Oh,
what they call a digital twin. So
okay.
unified customer profile. The more information I have about Martin, the more the better I can target my marketing and the better I can sell to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And a lot of, I think, also to relate on that and connect the dots, I think a lot of customers that are already using CRM, they got, I think, license for marketing module, sales module, or the customer
They
insight, or not.
no, but if you have customer insight journey,
Okay.
you also have customer insights data.
Oh, okay. Because for CRM, if I remember good in the past, now I suppose it's changed. I'm just sharing again my experience. I think you need to become some type of a partner with Microsoft to use Microsoft Dynamics and to get these licenses. And then with these licenses, we are giving you these products and so on and so on.
Yeah, that's for on the partner side. But
Okay.
for customers, they buy. So you have a sales license and a customer service license.
Separately. Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Like Office 365 depends on the
yes,
needs basically and which type of
exactly,
product we want to
exactly the
use.
same.
Yeah.
So for sales, customer service, and field service, you have per user license per month.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
For customer insight, you have per tenant per month. And then
Oh,
you
for
have,
tenant.
yes, and then you have per marketing contact and per unified person. So you
Wow.
get parts of it included. So you get 10,000 marketing contacts and 100,000 unified profiles. But then if you want
Oh,
more, you just add.
yeah.
So if you're a
True.
big customer, you need more. So that is that's the license. But of course, if you then have 10 or more sales licenses or customer service licenses, then you get a hefty discount on the customer insight part.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. The good thing in the whole story and the whole journey for you, and I think that's the biggest leverage, for example, for all other cloud enthusiastics people and migrations and all that, because the people that are using this product that you are the best on it, if I may say like that, in the CRM and the dynamics, they need to know what they are doing and what they are using, if I may say like that. For example, for you, it's impossible to come a customer. Hey, Malin, I want to use CRM. Yeah, but do you know what you need to do before as a prerequisite about
Yeah.
that, which is quite good and interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, because I don't think there are any customers out there who have seen sales and then thought, I'm just going to implement sales and use it out of the box.
Indeed.
No,
Indeed.
no, you're not. Never in a million years. Just give up straight away. But when it comes to marketing, a lot of customers already have sales and or customer service. So they've done all this job. They have their customers there. They have the data there. So I have some customers I've done training for. They implemented customer insight themselves because
Okay.
they had sales. So or they had like Dataverse was set up and everything was in order. And they're like, we're technical people. We can manage to implement this. No problem. And implementation is no problem. Getting it set up to a certain point is also no problem. Getting everything correct so you can actually send out newsletters and emails, you need to know all the buttons and where everything is and how it's connected and GDPR and consent and all of that. So all of the marketing side of everything. So you have all of that in addition. So they had actually implemented and everything was set up correctly and everything was in order. And then they realized we have no idea how to use this.
Yeah, it's easy. Click, 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 send. That's it. Easy.
Yes, it wasn't that easy. How how do we actually do that? So, and that's when they came to me for training saying, can you just help?
Explain
And
to us
yeah,
where and how we need to click.
yes. And first it was like, can you have an hour training with us and teach us how to do this? And I'm like, no, but I can have a day training with you so that you're up running and we
Yeah,
can
for
take
1 hour, maybe if you go to Facebook and we can create advertisement maybe for
yeah,
something. But in Dynamics marketing, basically, I'm not sure that it's
yeah.
possible for 1 hour. and all
No,
that stuff.
that's
True.
kind of a teaser. So this is everything that can be done in the system. That's
True.
it. Like I
But
have,
everything can be done. That's the positive. I must be honest. Everything can be done. I
yeah.
mean, again, I relate with my experience. I remember Microsoft gave us 200 leads or something,
Mm,
but nobody in the company knew about sales and
no.
this and for that market. So I
Mm,
remember one of the CTO was sitting with me, let's configure, and then I created, it needed to be created a Cosmo DB something. I
mm.
created. He said, "Yeah, I read 200 leads." I said, "Okay, what that means? I don't have a clue. Don't ask me. I created the database now. Let's see if somebody, we will see some email address and all that stuff." And it's quite complex. I think later on they required some trainings, they requested and all the stuff. But it's really tough.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's really nice
and
that you know all the stuff. I must be honest. Now
mm,
listening to you, it's really gives me a nice inspiration. CRM for me was always, yeah, this is bullshit. It's
yeah,
complex. This is this. I will
mm,
never work on this. But now
yep,
listening to you that you're specialized for this piece of the
mm,
software, if I may
yep,
call it like that,
mm,
which is completely SaaS,
yep,
click, 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 click.
yep,
Basically, that's my specialty. I'm best at all
yep,
in that, and basically, it's really
yep.
nice. I think you need to start learning Fabric
Yeah,
immediately, just for
I,
my
I
suggestion.
know, I know. It's on my list together with Power BI over
Yeah,
things I really know I should probably learn, but also I know that if I first start, that is the last you see of me because that is me down the rabbit hole just staying there. Because I love statistics and I love
yeah,
analytics and I've always done it. So it's kind of like, yes, that's, and but I know that that's me. Same as when I first started my MVP journey, I was
yeah.
like, okay, so I can either do gaming or I can do MVP. I don't.
Gaming.
I can't do. I can't do both. So I need to make a choice. Do I want to? Do I want to continue with gaming and everything, or do I want to go the MVP way? And it's I yeah, it's no secret what I chose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. We can read already. So I'm curious about how, from where it's coming the idea for MCT. I must ask you, just
Yeah.
because relating the dynamics. For example, you took the certificate. I suppose those certificates, if I remember good, were starting MB and
Yes.
some numbers, something
Yes.
like that. True.
Yes. So I think my first one was the MB 716 and I had the 715 and I've taken all the certifications. But they are old. Like yeah, they're 10
I
years.
understand, but a
Yeah.
lot of has changed. Let's be
Yes.
honest, and I think
Oh yeah.
now it's maybe even easier. For example, especially if you have the licenses, maybe think to
No,
practice, click, click, click. No,
because they're so in depth to the small technical things and
okay.
it's all how do you use it out of the box, and they've
Okay.
just done some changes which um I've gone out publicly and said I don't like the new certification. i
Okay.
have I have told the internal people at Microsoft I don't like it. They have gotten a very very long and detailed and specific email stating
Wow.
why. Yeah, I'm super honest. So the new certification, the MB280, customer experience analyst,
Customer
that
experience MB8. What was the number? I'm just looking at
MB2 280
280.
280. Yeah.
Yeah, but there is
So
not 280, Malin. I don't
yep.
see it. Or here it is, 280 Dynamics Customer Experience Analyst Associate.
Yes.
Okay, I see it.
Because that
Okay.
takes that. Prior to November, we had one certification for sales. That was a 2-day
Okay.
training. Then we had
Okay.
one certification for customer insight journey. That was a 4-day training.
4 and 2. Okay.
Yes. And then we had a certification for customer insights data, and that was also a 4-day training.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how complex and deep they are. And still, I could probably have talked more than 4 days on that. Sales, 2 days was okay for sales. Now they have smashed all of that together and added
Okay.
Dataverse in addition to that. So now you have 2 days of sales training, which is
Okay.
sales and the Microsoft Outlook add-in and Copilot for Sales
Sales.
and those types of
All the
things.
stuff.
Yeah. Then you have 1 day for Dataverse
Okay.
and model-driven apps and setting that up. And then you have 1 day for customer insight journeys and data. That's it.
1 day.
1 day for both of them combined.
But immediately, the third day that you said, the 2 is the sales, and the third day it's about Dataverse and all the stuff.
Yep.
I think it's not enough 1 day, in my view.
It's you don't go that deep into it. So when you do the Power
Okay.
Platform functional
Okay.
consultant, yeah, you also have
Yeah.
1 day. So it's okay for, but what it's traditionally have been, it's not on how you configure and how you do changes to the system. It's how do you use what's out of the box without doing any changes. So how
True.
do you actually use the
Yeah.
system? Now they have added, and now you have a full day of learning how to configure and how to change things. And then you have half a day with customer insight journey and half a day with customer insights data. And that is not enough at all.
1 day is not enough. Yeah, there is a lot of pressure also. To do not be that we are complaining and all this stuff. But yeah, there was a lot of merges, and also now I think it's official, so we can say I'm just looking in the poster of Microsoft, as DP Data Engineer Associate DP203. Officially, I think it's on the Microsoft side that it will be retired. And it will be merged with Fabric or something, if I understand correctly. Maybe I'm wrong. DP 600 or 700, something like that. So all of this previously was really focused on this area and all this thing, but somehow now it's becoming a little bit chaotic, if I may say. And even the students are confused, and basically they come to training, and I have heard this couple of times. Yeah, we came to training to learn this, but they expect that after that we are the specialist. We are no, after that you need again to check about, go deep dive and all the stuff, which sometimes it's
and it's
complex to explain, if I may say it like that.
Yes, very. And for me, I do a lot of training for Norway's biggest training provider. So a lot of the people that are in training there are users.
Oh.
Yes. So there are not a lot of consultants who does these trainings. It's users, or it is product owners from companies who have implemented CRM. So I get a lot of people who are like, okay, but now where on earth do I go to learn how to use the system? Because this certification isn't for me. Like I now done 2 days of training on the CRM fundamentals certification.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a 1-day training. I don't do trainings for 1 day. I do them for 2 days, partially because I can talk for a lot of days about anything, but also because for the people listening, like if I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to pass the certification, and during 1 day we're going to talk about customer insight journey, sales, customer service, and field service,
in 8 hours.
In 8 hours, yeah. And you're going to learn how to do it and how it's all connected and everything.
True.
And it's like how the people are just exhausted half day through. And I always, tell them, like, by the end of the first day, I'm like, so now we're really meant to be finished with the entire course. And every time they're like, that's not doable. I mean, maybe you could have talked through everything, but I couldn't, like, there's no way I could have understood anything after like 1 o'clock. It's my head
Well,
was
food
really,
coma, lunch, and all that
yes,
stuff. So the
yeah,
concentration, it fails. I have
yeah.
because we're discussing this topic, and the last 6-7 years, as I'm a Microsoft trainer, usually because last 2-3 years or after COVID, Microsoft really cut a lot of. So most of the Azure trainings that are officially from 5 days, they will come 4 days, and 3-4 times I'm going in Oslo, maybe in the same partner and all that stuff for Azure. And
Mm,
I discussed a couple of times with the, I don't know, the CTO of that. Basically, I'm not sure what it is, but he's like a manager on all of the trainings there. So we discussed, and we agree. I said it's impossible in 4 days,
yeah, yeah,
because either it's 5 days. So I know it sounds sometimes maybe too honest, but I said to him, I think it's better to pay to me, or maybe we can make agreement half of the price for the one night for
mm,
Friday, between Thursday
yeah,
and Friday. We basically pay each other half, you half, me half. But
yeah,
we know in Friday, all the 15, 20 students tomorrow, whoever
mm,
asks, they will say, yeah, we went there, they
yeah,
have really good trainer, they have a really good office, they have good.
yeah,
And we understand it was no
mm,
pressure, because
yeah,
we are all working. I'm always saying that on the trainings, every day. And then the company,
mm,
there is a companies, not all,
yeah,
you need to go on 5 days training. And usually those
mm,
people come on these 5 days like,
yeah.
yeah, I need a little bit of rest, and they don't even listen to you. So I think that's
Yeah,
our hardest job for me and you tomorrow, to
mm,
motivate. Hey guys,
mm,
this is not a standard work. This is something new
mhm,
that you will
yes,
benefit.
yeah,
Yeah, we will learn some money, but you will benefit really a lot if you
yes,
listen and all that stuff. So I'm
yeah,
always saying happy customers or happy students is the most important
yes.
in this
Oh,
MCT journey.
yeah,
And I completely relay what you said. Now
mm,
from 2-3 days, now in 2 days, now it's
mm,
impossible. It's a
yeah,
lot of things, and it's quite complex.
yeah, it is. So, but we as long as we give feedback to Microsoft, we can complain, because if we just complain and don't give feedback, then it's,
Yes,
you could just stop complaining straight away. So if you don't give feedback to Microsoft, then just
yeah,
stop complaining, because
true.
yeah, you need to tell them some way or another, and give constructive feedback as well. Like, when I do my this is not the first time I've done feedback. So
Yeah,
when I do my feedback, I always start with, I'm sorry, this is a really long email. And then I write a really long email. And then I
yeah.
finish with, I told you it was long. I am really sorry. But then it's just,
Honestly,
yes,
honesty. Sorry, and basically that's good. I think at the end we are
yeah,
the people that are in front of the audience that need to explain, hey guys, why this from 5 days now it's 2 days? What's wrong? Are we need to be
yes,
smarter, or
yeah,
how
yeah,
this works, and all that stuff?
yeah. How
It's
do
tough.
we find the information, and how do we, and as I said, I think I had 4 people in the training this week, and one person was going to take the certification. The rest was just there to learn what CRM is.
Yes.
So it's a lot like, well, I don't care about the certification. I just want to hear what I can do and how I can use it. So it's also, I do some slides, and then I go into the system and show how it works, and then it's, we go back and forth, and then parts aren't updated, and then it's like, well, this I'm gonna skip all of these
Yeah.
slides because they're so out of date. It doesn't exist in half a year. Like, it's just, we're gonna go
True.
into the system and just look at it straight away. So it's
True.
but I
It's
love being
tough.
a trainer. Yeah, I think it's fun.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite fun, and meeting new people and helping them, if I may call it like
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
quite nice and quite interesting. Uh,
Yes.
You are just specialized, I suppose, for the CRM side, completely on the business applications, basically category, if I may call it like that. Yeah,
Yes, yes. So, but I,
nice.
I, I do both Dynamics and Power Platform.
Power Platform. Yeah, it's under. I'm just looking at the poster. That's why I just pointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I opened. I was curious about this MB because I was
Yes.
always reading, looking around, but I
Mm.
never, knew
No.
about this. But that is so
Mm.
complex.
Yes.
But
Yes.
now I think it's a lot of clear for me. Thanks,
Yeah.
thank
Yeah.
you. I must say that honestly.
Yep.
Uh, how it became for the MVP after MCT, you became MVP.
I actually became MVP first.
Really?
Hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Why? You need to first become MCT. You said that you are allowed to be MVP.
Yeah, no, I because I've done, like, I did training before I became a consultant. So
So,
I did my internal training for the company I was working for. I did the training on the new system because
yeah.
I was like, how hard can that be? We
Yeah.
don't have to wait for the consultant. I can deliver this training. Like, it's okay. So I did that training internally, but my MVP journey, I got awarded the 1st of July in 2019,
Oh, nice.
and which also all of a sudden is a couple of years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
quite
And I got my MCT certification in, I think it was March of 2020.
2020. Oh,
Yeah.
after COVID. After COVID.
Mid COVID, like
Mid?
just at the
Yeah,
start of,
2020.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. True,
2020.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
Nice.
it was like, yeah, now you're a certified trainer. Yeah, everything's online. Ah, okay. Yeah. Oh well.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
So
nice.
it's,
Quite
yeah, it was,
impressive.
yes, but it was good fun for me. I'm again, I love delivering training. I think it's super fun, and I started my own company in 2022, so in August, and that's all well over 2 years, 2.5 years now as well. Time flies; it's crazy.
Three.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, we're getting close to 3. So August will be 3 years. So it's also crazy. So I I I kind of, I say to my customers, I now do what I want to do, and I take the jobs I want to do, and if there's something I don't want to do, I can either say no, or I can just give them an insane price so that they
Yeah.
say, ah, you're too expensive. And
Expensive.
if they don't say you're too expensive, and they say, okay, we're gonna pay you this, then I'm gonna be like, at least I'm getting paid well for this job.
Indeed.
So yes, so but it's for me, it's, I mean, I love talking to the marketing departments. There's so many good customers out there, and it's a small world, so everything comes
Yeah.
back. And I do a lot of events as well, and it's, yeah, it's
I think
I
I read something like Nordic Summit in September.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So I'm in the organizing committee for Nordic Summit. I was in the organizing committee for Scottish Summit for
Yeah.
last year, and I do something called Marketing Day, which is in
Yeah.
Norway, which we've had up to 4 or 5 events of.
Nice.
And I just, yeah, I do some
Nice.
events, yeah, and I also
That's
have
nice.
my own podcast, so I have to
Yeah.
say, yeah, the
CRM.
CRM
CRM.
Rocks. CRM
Nice.
Rocks with Marcus. So Marcus has done this for 10 years. So
Okay.
he's had the podcast for every month for 10 years straight. He's done a podcast. So
10
I've
years,
been
you said? 10 years?
10
Sorry.
years,
10
10
years.
years straight. So I've just been part of it for just over a year. But
When you started officially marketing, give me a sec. I
yeah,
took some notes. So 10 years ago, when
yeah,
you basically, let me see, marketing 2007, Microsoft World 2014. So when you were entering to the Microsoft
yeah,
World, Marcus have already the CRM talks and started.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow,
that is dedication. That is really,
really
yeah.
dedication.
So Serum has rocked for a long time. And actually the last episode which was released about a week ago
Yeah.
is for our CPM. So Tina Stenderup.
Ah, Tina. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So
yeah.
she was our guest now in January and talking about the MVP program and
So,
everything around that. So that's a good
nice.
episode if you're interested in learning more about MVPs and
It
how is that crazy
works.
magical and secret super secret process and everything. And she explains it very well and goes through like the steps and what it takes and what you need to think about and everything. So
I
it's
listened in the Sunday, by the way,
yeah.
and I
Yes.
said now when you said yes, here I'm talks, I said Tina. Yeah, where I was listening, Tina,
Yeah.
somewhere, and then it rings the bell. I listened the whole episode, and then I was just confused myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, from where I know this about that Tina was talking. Yeah, 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 it was you podcast and all the
Yes.
stuff. So because I wrote it down for March, April a little bit to
Yep.
invite her basically,
Yep. Yeah.
and just to
Yeah.
have a talk like this to be honest,
Yes.
because
Yes.
previously I saw also
She's
she was
great.
working for Microsoft as something else and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
now it's for us.
Yes.
So it's
She's
quite a lot of experience for her, I
yes.
must be honest.
Yes. She's a super guest to have on as well. Super easy to talk to. She's just great. Yeah.
True,
So she's really good. Yes.
true. Nice, nice. Because we are more than 1 hour, I must ask you, what's your challenge for 2025? I know we catch a little bit fabric this and that, but officially, what's your challenge for 2025 to learn something new?
Well, my not to learn something new, but my biggest challenge in 2025 is time management.
Oh,
Yeah.
welcome to the
So
club. I
yeah.
think we need to stop recording and start
Yeah.
new next Tuesday about time management and this and that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's getting time to do everything and it's just need more hours in the day, so to speak. So that's my biggest challenge, but it's also prioritizing, being stricter with prioritizing. So already I prioritize. I don't do that many events, so I don't travel to that
okay.
many events. I have my son. I try to not travel too much, so I
Yeah,
try to limit it to tops of an event per month. Like that is the high
max.
tops for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
Max. Yeah. So yeah, just be stricter and I don't put in submissions for everything anymore. If I have
Yeah.
friends who come ask me, well, could you do a talk on this? Of course I could. And but yeah, trying to focus my time more.
Indeed, priorities. That's how they said.
Mhm.
On this side, they have a lot of books about it. We will discuss
Mm.
after that. But
Yes.
yeah, around me, it's a lot of notes, if I may say like that.
Mm.
Even if it means last year, 2 years ago, I bought Remarkable. I said no,
Ah,
it's
yeah.
digital. I will
Mhm.
focus. Because
Mm.
it's not like tablet. You don't have access to all the
Yep.
notifications. So,
Yep.
and the best thing is that you can send to the email, which
Yep.
basically whatever I wrote now, I can send to my email, and basically I don't need to transcript now again and rewrite. But Malin,
Yeah.
it's completely. I got stuck in 2020 one and two, if I'm 21 and 22, and
Yep.
following a lot of channels, all of them, these productivity
Mm.
guys, time management
Mm.
applications, this and that.
Mm.
But again, as you said, I think it's because of us, if I may call it like that. Sometimes even on my daily work, when I open Outlook calendar or my private and then Google
Mhm.
calendar, you immediately get chaotic because you have three different calendars, and then there is a family calendar,
Yep.
and then there is something else, and
Yep.
then okay, four different calendars on two different computers. Then
Yep.
we need to merge that into one and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I will share after this one nice video. I
Yeah.
have bookmarked it. I think it will help
Mm.
basically about that. It helped to me a lot. I'm not strict, but
Awesome.
exactly on that. But it helps just to triggers you to think about. Yeah, this is a good approach
Mm.
where you sort. Yeah, the main one is you collect first of all the inputs from where you're getting the informations. LinkedIn, calendars. What is the priority? The family, work,
Yes.
company, all that stuff. And then basically you need to separate in the different buckets. Different applications is the easiest, if I understand correctly. I'm just sharing what I learned
Yeah.
4 years ago. It helped me the first 2 years. And basically, yeah, we got the third one, and basically everything went like this. So everything changed. I must be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how it went. Something, but indeed, time management is really good, and it
Yeah.
have a lot of, I think, alignment with each other or yourself. Basically, what's priority, high priority, what can wait, and all that stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, but that's nice. That's nice. A nice challenge that will take you the whole year. I think it
Yes.
will be really. It's not like the certifications. I need to
No.
learn this and that. It's really
No.
long journey.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that is from myself advice to you, if I may call it like that. And
Yeah.
my last question for today is: what's
It-
your favorite book or the last book that you read it?
Oh.
One.
Oh, one book. Oh, I'm very much right now into Agatha Christie and the
Oh,
Poirot books. Yeah.
okay, nice.
I I,
Agatha
I love
Christie.
I love good murders. So I
Good
know
murder.
I listen to enough murder podcasts. I could get
Yeah.
away with anything at this point. So that's that
Cut, cut,
I like
cut
that.
now, cut now, because now we are getting really after 11 p.m. We will discuss this type of
Yeah.
talks.
So
No,
no,
Agatha Christie, I have
yeah,
read two,
yeah,
three, and they are quite good. I'm not a big fan,
yes,
but I was of curiosity and all
yeah,
that stuff. So it's
yeah. But
a
I'm
really
also
nice.
huge fantasy book, so I love the Terry Pratchett books, and I really need to get into that as well. And it's yeah, I am. I I have periods where I read a lot, so maybe that's also something I need to get back into reading for. But then again, it's the time.
Time management is the problem, indeed.
Yeah.
First
Mm-hmm.
that, and then everything else. That's my advice, if
Yeah.
I may call it like that.
Yeah.
And I would like to. We will finish like this because I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of the Norwegian language. I want to say you thanks
Yeah.
for watching me,
Yeah.
and see you next Tuesday
Ja.
on
Takk for
Norwegian.
Innerden, yes. Takk for at
Yes.
du hørte på, og ses neste tirsdag.
Neste tirsdag. I enjoy when I hear. Have a nice evening, Cole, and thanks
You
for
too.
watching. Thank you, Malin, one more time.
Thank you for having me on.
Yep. End stream.